Team leadership. Who's going to be the Mo, Larry, and Curly of the Detroit Red Wings going forward? Or, better question, if you had to re-give out the letters, who would it be? I'm
Are
Josh,
we gonna
by the
do?
way.
Yeah, I'm Chris. This is Wingscast. Um, so we're gonna talk about. We're talking about like captain too. I mean, we're gonna do.
We're going to redo all of it.
Okay, we're gonna do all of it.
You're
So,
Steve Eiserman right now.
well,
Who is it?
so the A's right now, you've got what Nielsen, Glendening, um, and
Larkin.
Larkin. They haven't really passed the A's around too much this year, given the injuries. I think Stahl had an A the one game.
Yeah,
If I remember
a
right.
couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I pointed
Okay.
it out. I thought it was a patch or something, but it was the A, which
Yeah.
was really surprising.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. They used to do that kind of all the time. Like Erickson would wear an A every now and then, and those kind of things. But right now,
Did he Erickson really
yeah,
in
Erickson
camp? Like in camp, or was that
just like
just like in the
no, like when people were injured, like long. I think when Cromwell was like long term out a couple times, they had Erickson with an A,
Erickson?
the great Jonathan Erickson.
Jesus.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. This is kind of a like, does it really matter topic, I guess. But some people do find this kind of like who they like in the locker room and all those kind of things. Um, I think they should leave the captain alone. I wouldn't have signed a captain. I would have waited. Do we really think Larkin's going to be here long term?
I don't know.
I
That's a question mark right now. I mean, watching Mantha go, I thought
Yeah,
he was safer than Larkin was, honestly.
really. I think Mantha kind of broke the dam on
Who's
um
available?
yeah, who's available and just kind of that like untouchable core, which Athanasiu wasn't really necessarily a part of. You had like the Mantha Burt Larkin kind of line and all that, and maybe Hronik's part of the core, but I just
Well, with Athanasiu, there was agent issues. We knew
there's
that there was agent. There was he's easy to play against,
yeah
and what else? Wasn't we knew he probably wasn't too good in the locker room? Which okay, pick the three most toxic traits. That's the three right
that's
there.
them. Yeah, especially
That's
when you're
them.
talking about contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it is what it is.
so I think they're going to re-sign Glendening. I don't really want them to, but I think it's going to happen.
Does he deserve the A? I don't think so.
I don't know. We don't know the locker room dynamics, I guess. So um, he's got one now. He's liked among the team. Maybe he keeps one for. Okay, look at like okay, I guess here's the thing. Like generally like in the past for the Red Wings, it's been like the great players have had.
It's been more than like it's not a popularity contest. The only popularity contest that goes on with leadership is what they do on the ice, how that transforms into the locker room.
Sure, in the past, three captains are all they're all consummate winners. They're all cup winners.
Hmm.
Tough act to follow, especially for Larkin, who's really not of that caliber. But you look at guys like who was the defenseman out of Trenton, Michigan, played for New Jersey.
Andy Green.
Andy Green was the captain of the Devils, right?
Yep.
Not a star, not an
Steady
all
Eddie.
star, steady Eddie, but I guess there's some of that locker room type, you know, want, right? Like you have to have some of that. I guess leadership abilities aren't always going to mean you're the best on the team.
No, I agree. The thing with Andy Green was that if you notice in those playoffs is he 8 minutes, and two, that team played really inspired. Like they had a team of Parise, but that team played really inspired. Probably shouldn't have been there. They were a good team. They just got hot. Kind of one of
Yeah,
those things.
sure.
But he ate a lot of minutes, and when even if he was off the ice, you could tell he was off the ice. It was kind of one of those things.
Like, if you watch the Devils maybe currently, but like if you're a fan of the Arizona Coyotes, like, do you really know who Andy Green is?
Is he on the Coyotes?
No, I'm just saying, like, if
Oh
you're a fan of like a West Coast team, do you have any clue who Andy Green is? Is he
no,
a
but I
top
mean,
60 something NHL defenseman? I mean, I don't think so. So that's what I'm talking about. Like
good point.
in regard to Glendening, right? Like there are some attributes that maybe aren't going to be on the ice that they look into for assigning like assistant captain or alternate captain.
Well, who assigns him? I'm assuming it's a concerted effort. Yeah, concentrate. I'll say concentrated effort between Blashill and Eiserman. Right? They probably bounce it off of each other
Yeah,
because you
probably.
can't give that to Blashill. I mean, he's the longest tenured coach. They don't last long at teams. So I mean, I would not trust Jeff Blashill assigning leadership to this team whatsoever. He cannot lead this team as it is, let alone coach. But
I don't think you trust Jeff Blashill to water your grass,
you can't. You
but
really can't, and I mean, seems like a great dude. He seems like a hard ass in the locker room, and I mean, we see what happens to hard asses in this day and age. Mike Keenan, you haven't heard of him in a while, have you?
no, you
He
haven't.
pretty much would kill somebody to win. He's in Russia right now, I think. But I mean, what Torts is out this year, you know that for sure. He can't keep a
Yeah,
superstar.
in all likeliness, yeah.
It just doesn't last. You got to be a player's coach and maybe handle some of the off ice stuff in the locker room.
So so
Keep it there.
so Nielsen actually has that kind of same Glendenning ish, good in the room cliche kind of. He haven't played much this year. They scratched him a lot, but he kept the A. Um, but he's yeah. I mean, okay, so they gave the C to Larkin, which I would have waited. I would have
Hmm.
waited till some of these players coming in.
Wait for cider is what you're saying, right? You would have waited for cider.
I don't want to say you don't know, but I mean the kid seems like he's got that.
He better. That's all I got to say. He
But
seems like he's got it, but he better have it
he
because
seems like he
the
has
city's gonna
the
riot.
charisma, the want, the drive, the play, the skill. I mean, Sider kind of has all of that.
He plays nasty.
Yeah, I mean, but he doesn't look to be nasty necessarily, but he's got that edge, right? That I mean,
Yeah,
he's not Tom Wilson, let's say, but
right.
um,
Tom Wilson's a serial killer, man. Why would you want him on your team?
not no.
No,
I'm not
I
the
would.
I'm not the kind of guy who likes like, oh yeah, if he was on my team, I like him, but I hate like no, like the Brad Marchands, the Tom Wilsons, people who like go intend to injure. I'm just not into.
It's
Can't.
funny how Ovi gets hurt right after Tom gets off the ice. Hurt,
Yeah, hurt. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
So anyway, so let's I guess get to the premise. Like, if you had to take a player on these teams right now, I mean, who would you give it to? Who would you give the A's to?
A's. I would probably stick Young.
Let's go three A's and leave the captain off.
Okay,
So
okay,
take
three
three
A's.
A's.
I think that makes it harder.
I think it does too.
So three A's. I would go Bert on this one.
Okay.
He's electric. What about you? Do your one.
Uh, I mean, we're gonna say Larkin's gonna get an A at least, like for both of us, or
Let's
no?
just leave Larkin out of it. We know he's going to get one.
Okay, so
You
let's
get
go
to reassign
two
three
other
A's.
A's. Okay.
Yeah.
I give Hronik one. I think he's one of the few guys who
Okay.
stands up for the team, plays with an edge, eats the most minutes nightly for the team. I think he's got to get one.
Okay. I would go Heronic as well. And the reason for that, I I don't think he's going to fight. I mean, I think he'll get in a scrum with somebody if it was, a top player. But one, he eats minutes. I think you have to eat minutes. His play's inspiring. You know when he's not on the ice, and you know when he is on the ice because he's a trigger man on the power play. He does contribute offensively 5-on-5 too. Plus, he plays really good positioning in our zone. So, I mean, he plays through all three aspects. The 200-foot game that everybody talks about, he plays it. He does play it. He can move the puck, he can shoot the puck, and he gets it done in the defensive zone.
I think yeah, I think some of it comes to temperament too, just like not just the play.
Sure.
So the second's a lot harder, I think, because like we're always saying Larkin gets one of whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. There's just so many people coming in that you don't want like a long term guy. Maybe
Hmm.
maybe Glendenning isn't.
I don't think he's long term. He's
Uh,
going to get moved this year. If we sign him, he's going to get moved.
well, I think they are going to sign him. I think maybe this will be the year he finally goes deadline. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I guess it really comes down to the decision. Like, do you want it to be a vet with some veteran leadership, or do you want it to be a kid for the future? Um, so you have that kind of quandary, I guess. I've always liked Darren Helm, but he's definitely on the
He's
way
done.
out.
Yeah, he's out.
Uh, man, I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna give it to a vet, I think it has to be Glendenning. I don't know who else you even give. Like, who else you give it to? Like, who do you got?
Well, you got Fabry. He's a perfect hybrid between the young and the old. He's a guy that's won a cup.
Yeah,
So he's been in the locker room with a
but
winning
is
team.
Fabry around long term either?
I think so.
I think if they keep Fabry and I'm of the opinion they're gonna move Bird eventually.
I think
I
they will too. I think we said this off air too. I think they're more committed to Burt than at Larkin.
okay.
I do think that. I don't think there's anything against Larkin. I think Larkin's just in this growing spurt right now. But man, I would have liked to seen him score 25 this year, just to really
Yeah,
kind of solidify. But then they shut him down, so he just may be hurt. He may have played hurt all year. We don't know.
we don't know.
We don't know.
I think Larkin's kind of caught in that you have value, especially around the league, and we need picks type situation. And I think Bert's kind of in that probably a great playoff performer. Can score, can play gritty, goes to the corners type thing. Also has value, young,
Right.
has team control. And I just think those two are going to be on that. They're going to be maybe just too old for this to be long, like a long term thing here. Um, yes, I don't know. I'll go Glendenning, Larkin, and Hronik. For my A's.
I'll go. Who did I say first?
You said Bert.
Bert, um, Ronick, and Fabry.
Okay, so you take Larkin out of it altogether.
Yeah, I'll take Larkin out of it. I think we know Larkin's going to, if he stays, he's going to have the C, obviously.
Right.
But if they move Larkin, it'd be interesting to see how that dynamic works out. Maybe you see a young kid get the C at that point if they
Kind of
move Larkin.
kind of
We talked
Iserman-ish.
about kind of what we saw with Larkin. Probably do that in another episode. What would it take to move Larkin? But yeah, I think you do the Iserman thing. You just put maybe give it to Cider or somebody like that. I mean, this Verona kid, maybe they move Burt and Glendenning and all those guys, and Veronica's left there. I would do Verona. The guy's been extremely inspiring, you
Yeah,
know,
he's one of the few bright spots right
and
now.
he's won a cup. So that means we've got two guys that have won a cup on a team that really hasn't tasted any victory.
Right now, you've got
Yeah,
three, don't you?
we got
Phil,
Fabry. Oh, Phil. Did he win in
Helm.
Tampa?
No, Phil won here. Oh
Oh,
wait,
okay. Oh, wait.
Helm got a ring in '08. Then you got Verana and you got Fabry.
Yeah. So I mean, you do got a winning culture in there, but the guys that have different. That was a different team in '08 too.
Oh yeah, well
But I
yeah,
mean, different team for these guys that have won. But with that being said, I think you do. If it'd be interesting to see if Larkin gets moved because I do believe Sider would get it at that point.
yeah. That's why I wish they. But okay, I guess like here's my thing. Like I wish they would have waited, but maybe Iserman knew he had to break that mystique or that I mean, because look at it. I mean, you had Iserman, you had Lidstrom, you had Zetterberg. They're all two of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Right,
One is borderline,
Zetterberg,
he maybe gets there with his triple gold. I don't
triple gold plus the Conn Smythe. That shift that probably could have put him in the
in the
Hall of
Hall.
Fame. Yeah,
It could. I don't know. He's kind of I don't know.
that was against a really good Pittsburgh team.
Yeah,
We
it
played good
was.
against them the next year too, even though we lost. So
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know if the trophy case is that big for him to get in the Hall. He's borderline.
yeah,
I think his if he gets in, it's going to be on his international resume.
sure,
But
yeah,
so anyway, so you got three, let's say three Hall of Famers, just three Hall of Famers, three Conn Smythe winners, three Cup winners, obviously.
right.
Um, Eventually someone's going to follow that up, who's not going to, carry the torch any further. So maybe Eisman just said like, yeah, we got to get him in. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. I hope he's not afraid to move him because of it.
I don't think he is. I think we saw that with Mantha. I think it kind of put everybody on their toes a little bit.
Right.
Like if we're going to move Mantha, we're going to get and then pick up Verano, which we've clearly won this trade at this point, right? Like we can assume that. I
Uh,
mean, that should let Bert and that should let Larkin know it's like, hey, dude, come out, bring your A game, or you're gone, buddy.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I
so
think they even if they bring the A game, he might just see the value go up
the
and
value just depends on what you get. Like I said,
yeah,
another video right there.
sure. Okay. I don't really have anything else.
That's it.
Yeah, I think we're really in a transition period that like it's really hard to really assign these things.
We're at a hard part in the rebuild right now.
Yep.
I think a lot of these decisions are going to make or break. It's going to either shave 2 years or add 2 years to this rebuild. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Eisman just rips the band-aid off at one point and just says, "Hey, listen, great to have you here, but we got to make the best move that's possible for us."
Right.
So, and that's great to have because Kenny would never make that deal in a
No, Kenny
million
Kenny would
years.
be a little bit afraid of doing something
Oh,
like
too
that.
afraid.
But like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to. I don't have anything else.
I'm good. See ya.
Say it.